A plant, a tree, land, and sea. Animals across the globe, both you and me. These are prime examples of what God has created to live in his perfect will and way. Each of these things require life. What have we as humans done to please my heavenly Father on this earth? Man versus race, man versus society, man versus the education system, man versus the enemy, man versus self.
Social injustice. Why do we live in a world where it is okay to clearly see those in need and we do not supply the resources and the needs without the desire to obtain something in return? Why are human beings across the globe still suffering horrendous working conditions and low pay? Women are being treated as second class citizens in a modern world where it has already been proven that women are necessities in society. In addition, the middle class consists of many hard workers and they do not receive the benefits that they deserve. Racial injustice is another major issue in society, dating as far back as the Middle Passage and the Enlightenment. Horrendous acts of evil and racial injustice have been done across the globe and right here in America. Slavery, Jim Crow, war on drugs, mass incarceration, individuals applying for jobs being rejected for no other reason besides being black or Hispanic or another minority group. Education. It saddens my heart to see so many children and young adults with so much potential not receive the quality education they crave due to not having funds, inadequate learning environments, unqualified and unwilling educators, and lack of emotional support from those they need it the most from. One might ask, what caused this? The inability to accept that every man, woman, child, and race are of equal value, and that no individual should be judged based upon the color of their skin, but by the judgment of their character. And also, the lack of respect for women and this is a man's world mentality is still attempting to hold women in a permanent second class and subordinate position. Women's rights have become better over time. However, when I see that women are still suffering low pay and that they suffer workplace harassment that they do not receive justice for, I know and you know that this is a social injustice issue that is still alive. And with the education system, many urban school districts in the past have failed to see past their salaries and how their mismanagement has affected the children attending mostly public schools. When the people that are supposed to help the children do not do their jobs and are not fired when they neglect the needs of the students, then a seemingly impossible to break cycle of less than and uneducatedness goes on.
Action plan for change. The good systems must be kept and made required worldwide, and the ones that intentionally hurt the poor, the middle class, children, women, and minority groups must be eliminated. Some plans of action that have the ability to positively impact the world include equal pay for men and women doing the same job, mandatory $12 to $15 minimum wage, and if a worker has worked 8 hours, unless they ask for overtime, they must be released to go home. Health plans for every employed citizen. Middle class / working class citizens should receive required benefits such as health care, food cards, and reduced pricing at select businesses. Cameras, background checks, and mandatorily monthly business documentation and paperwork should be made in order to make sure that no racial injustice or social injustice is going on at the workplace. Moral and kind treatment should be treated towards all immigrants, and every state should have at least $10,000 given to public schools per semester set aside just for educational purposes. Also, students shall start receiving money for their good grades at least since 7th grade in order to go towards college funds. Also, fair judgment should be given in the court of law. All evidence should be looked at correctly. And petty crimes should not receive max sentences. As a young lady in America, and even more so as an African American female from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, I have seen more than a fraction of what many children in society face each and every day. It saddens me to know that Arkansas is the 5th poorest state in the country, not because this is my home, but because this is the home to many children that do not have parents to teach them that their state and that they can be so much more. Fighting to receive a quality education, standing up to the government and its unfair systems, inputting more diverse representation in the government, working hard, and keeping God first are key components necessary to clean the entire earth and create opportunity and prosperity for all. Because I believe that with you and me and the God above, we can make the world a better place.